Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Belaus with Feel Good Qigong, and we have started our fall season protocol. I did a little intro to what we're going to be focusing on for this season. We're going to get right off into the two organs. Really, it's three organs. It's the lungs, it's the large intestines, and it is the skin that we're going to be focusing on. Now, there's meridian lines, and those are the electrical cords to each organ. We have 12 major ones. And the idea is that if you keep that electrical cord not, at its optimum level, it protects your organs and it gives the juice that the organ needs to function. So I want to start with the lungs because that's a one that we really start noticing as far as this changing weather of cold air. So think of yourself like you're going to a football game. This is big time for football. Your kids maybe play football. You're going to see a football game. And it's usually cold. We're kind of not ready yet for that coldness. And maybe you don't wear the right jacket. And all of a sudden you feel this wind whipping through your body, especially through the back of your head. And there's like this chill that kind of moves through you. And your nose starts to run and you start to create some mucus. That's an indication that the body is actually protecting itself. We have mucus in our body to protect our eyes and our nose, our mouth, our lungs, our sinuses, our throat, our stomach, and intestines. And we have a slight mucus that protects and keeps those organs and those parts of our body moist. Now, with the cold air comes dryness too. So if the body is dry, if the air is dry, maybe you're not drinking enough fluids because you don't think you need them because it's cold out, then your body internally starts to get dry too. And now you've got the mucus is going to start building because it's protecting itself because it's saying, hey, I need some more fluids in my body. I need some more moisture in my body because I'm starting to dry out. And that's what happens with the production of mucus. Now, if you don't pay attention to that, it can turn into an infection. And now you've got a whole nother thing going on here. So runny nose, mucus, a little bit more mucus production are indications that the body's starting to break down a little bit and the body's trying to protect itself because you're losing a lot of moisture. So just be careful of that. Make sure your neck is covered. If it's really cold, definitely a hat for sure. And that'll keep the warmth in the body. So the mucus is trying to keep your body warm and moist. So that's what we want to think about in the winter months, especially where it's very cold and dry, is keeping it warm and moist. And we're going to do that by different movements. And I'm going to show you 4 movements that you can do on a daily basis, especially if you're starting to feel some production, a little bit too much production of that mucus, and you're starting to feel maybe a little heaviness in the chest. But again, you can still do this as a preventive to combat these pathogens from entering your system. Remember, the mucus and the runny nose is just an indication that your body's saying, I'm cold and I need to produce, and I'm dry, and I need to produce some mucus and some water, runny nose, for instance, to protect yourself. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of movements that you can do to do that. And the meridian line, I want to talk about the lung meridian line. We'll start with the lungs. And the lungs and the large intestine meridians are in the arms. So the lung meridian, if you find your collarbone, you can't miss the collarbone, just kind of follow it along till you come to that kind of little nest where the shoulder hooks up. That's lung meridian 1. And then it travels down the inside of your arm and it ends at the thumb. And then we'll flip the hand over, and then the large intestine meridian starts at the pointer finger, and the line, that electrochlorid line, runs up the outside of the arm. It kind of makes a little detour in the back of the shoulder, comes back up the neck, and then it crosses over to the other side, right underneath the nose. It's one of the only meridians that does this crossover. We're going to be working on tapping the lung meridian and the large intestine meridian and this whole area of our body to keep that production at a safe level of fluids. We're going to start with what's called spinal cord breathing. We're just going to inhale. We're going to lean back just a little bit, open up the front of the chest. So we start to get this broadening of the chest area. As you exhale, you start to close off here. You're compressing and you're bringing the chin to the chest. So we're just going to do a little bit more of this. This is called spinal cord breathing. Inhale up as you lean back, exhale as you compress. And we will be talking about breath a lot this season and also next season. So we're just, again, getting some movement here in the spinal cord. Really important to get that movement in the spinal cord. I talk about this all the time. And if you know about standing on a boat, you're leaning forward on the, you're coming forward on the ball mounts of your feet. When you exhale, you shift into the heel, soft knees, compress here. Inhale, nice deep breath here. Also, you know, the nose helps to protect the lungs from filling up with dirt because we have all these little hair follicles in our nose that filters out the dirt and the dust and the dryness. So that's what the nose, it protects your lungs from getting filled up with pollutants. So real important that you keep the nostrils clear as well. We'll do a couple more of these just to get some of that movement in the spinal cord. We're going to go right into what's called knocking on the door of life. And I'm going to turn around and show you what this looks like. So I am knocking on my kidneys when I turn around, which is your wellspring of your body, which helps to move your fluids in your body. We are about 65% fluids in our body, and you want to keep that moving, especially if the body feels dry, cold and dry. You want to keep your kidneys working and moving the fluids in your body so you don't get dehydrated. Now we're also going to add a little tap to that lung meridian 1. So a little bit of a tap to that lung meridian 1. We're also getting a nice twisting flexion again for the spine, getting a lot of movement, really good movement for the spinal cord. And we're just doing this light tapping of the lungs and of your kidney meridian. Really two great places to palpate these parts of these meridian lines. Remember, they're the electrical cords to your organs, and the lung and the large intestine and skin are the 3 organs that are going to be affected this time of year. So we really want to keep them, their juice going and really working well for us to help with our immune system as well. So we're doing this. You can twist a little bit more if you like, all the way around with the head and the neck, if that feels comfortable enough for you. As we come all the way. And so that's a little bit of a twist. We'll take it down. We're going to be standing on a boat. This is where you lean forward on the ball mounts of the feet. You shift back into the heels. You tuck the tailbone in slightly. So we're just standing forward and back on the feet. You can see my feet. Lots of videos on this. And then the next time we're going to start moving our arms forward and back too. This is a movement with some sound to keep the lungs clear. So it's called monkey leaves from a tree. And we do this a lot this time of year, especially if you're starting to feel any kind of dripping or buildup of mucus. Remember, this is your sign that your body's saying, please keep me warm, please keep me moist. So we're going to inhale up, and as you exhale, we compress. Ha, I'm going to use the sound ha. So we're taking this part of our body, we're compressing and we're blowing out through the lungs. We're inhaling up, ha. The arms are not stiff. This is called monkey. Inhaling up, ha. And we'll do this a couple of times. It might, ha, actually have you cough, which is fine. Ha, that means things are clearing out. Ha. Inhaling up, ha, out through the mouth, inhale through the nose, ha. Remember, inhaling through the nose filters the air, ha, and then we blow it out. Remember, 70% ha of your toxins are released through the exhalation of your breath. So a couple more, ha. So this is making me cough a bit, ha. I can feel things breaking up, ha, and we'll do one more, ha. So that's breaking it up a little bit. We're going to tap. So find your sternum. It's a very hard bone right here in the center of your chest. There's a thymus gland here. We're going to tap it. The thymus gland is part of your immune system. It helps to produce your white blood cells. What do your white blood cells do? They help to fight off pathogens, bacteria, infection. That thymus gland can get small and not work especially if you're not, hydrated enough, if you've been sick a lot, if you're not moving, it's not going to work as well as you need it to, especially for this time of year where there's this really big change in weather. So we're just lightly tapping this area. If this hurts at all, you can also rub it. You don't have to tap it. You can rub it. Pain is never a good indication of anything. So pain, you just back off whatever you're doing and modify it for your comfortability. Now we're going to take this and run this alongside that clavicle bone till we reach that lung meridian 1. And then flip your hand up and we're going to cup or tap the inside of that lung meridian right to the hand. Flip your hand over and then we tap up the front, which is your large intestine meridian, to the back of the shoulder. We won't go up to the neck, a little bit of the neck. And then we'll do this again. You're going to tap down the inside of the arm, which is your lung meridian, to your thumb. Start from the hand, especially the finger, point your finger, large intestine meridian, all the way up to the back of the shoulder. And then we do it to the other side, tapping the lung meridian 1. Up down the inside of lung meridian 1, following that energetic line. Flip your hand over, and then we tap on the outside of the arm, which is large intestine, to the back of the shoulder. And then we're going to do this again, tapping lung meridian 1, and then we're going to come down. We're going to do one more, I call it the Tarzan thump, but we're using sound, and is again a great way to filter out your lungs. And we simply just tap this whole area, and you can use the sound of ah. You can go up octaves if you want. And we're just lightly tapping. And this is a great way to release any of that congestion in the lungs. Remember, mucus and a runny nose is an indication that your body needs to be warm and it needs to be moist. And then hold that area. You can give yourself a little rub here. And that's it for now. Give that a try. Keep that in your toolbox. Remember to stay bundled up in this cooler weather, and especially around the neck and the top of your head. Thank you so much for joining me, and stay nice and warm and toasty and moist. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.